Okay, so here is our first hexagon completely outlined with that lovely sort of decorative edging, ready to start joining. The first join with our second hexagon is going to be just joined along one side. And before we start, there's a quick note in the pattern. As Greta talks you through joining hexagons, she refers to the hexagon you're kind of working on as part one, and the one that you're joining to as part two, if you're just joining on one side, or if there's more, it'll be part two, part three, or whatever. So part means hexagon, but that does become clear as you work it. But just if you were having a brief sort of read through, that might make you scratch your brow, but don't worry, as you work it, it will be fairly obvious. Now, the good news is we've had lots of practice with this edging, and to start with, when we're doing our join on one side, we've got to do some more of this edging. We're not going to go all the way round, and we're not even going to go sort of almost all the way round and leave one edge. We're just going to do a couple of sides before we start joining. So if you look at the pattern where it says how to join one side, you're going to see that familiar repeat working in the corners and then along the edges, and you're going to be asked to do two sides before you do anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and do these two sides before we do anything else, and we'll take it from there. Right, you'll notice I've changed the positioning of the hexagons. Here's my one that's fully outlined, and here's the one that I've been working on. So I've done those two sides, which I said I'd go off and do. I've done one corner, two corner, and I'm now coming up to the third corner. And the third corner, actually it's going to be like this. The third corner is where we're going to start joining to our completed hexagon. And how we're going to do it is we're going to basically work in and out, or in the spaces we've created with this outline and through our hexagon. We're going to do that, and it was going to kind of join it together. I'll show you how. Right, so if I look at my pattern, I've completed the repeats that are in the brackets. I've done those twice, and I've now come up to the section where it says one double crochet in the corner space, and you know where they are. That's where the two stitches go into one double crochet in the corner space and one chain. So that's sort of half of what we normally do. And now we are going to start joining. And to do that, I'm going to take my hook out of the stitches I've just made, or the chain I've just made, and I'm going to put it from front to back through the chain spaces we've made in the corner of our completed hexagon. So front to back through the corner spaces of the completed hexagon. I'm going to pick up the loop again and pull it through. Okay, and now that has started to link very tentatively, but it started to link our two hexagons together. Okay, so I am now going to make one chain, following my pattern again, and then come back and do one double crochet back into that corner, just as we would if we hadn't been playing around joining it up. So if you can see, you're still getting that corner happening as normal. All right, and then finally, before we move on, I'll do another chain. Right, so ordinarily now we'd be galloping off down this side doing this business, and we're going to do the same again, but we're just going to have to join in this hexagon. So same thing again, I'm going to take my hook out, and this time I'm going to put my hook into the chain space, which is next to the corner. So I'm going to go front to back again through that chain space and pick up the loop of the stitch from this one and pull it through. Okay, so what is happening is it's just pulling those two together and joining them together. No chains or anything, I don't think, at this point. We're going to now just go back into doing that between stitch here. So try and cast your mind back to when we were just doing this. We were skipping the neighbour stitch, going in the next door but one neighbour stitch. Do you remember? So I'm going to do that. Make my double crochet completely the same as we did before, and make one chain. Again, completely the same as we did before. But this time I'm going to, yet again, take my hook out. I'm going to go across to the next chain space, which has got nothing happening in it, which is this one here. And I will say that you will miss some out because I've missed loads out, and you'll just have to take it back and it's fine. Pull it through. Now that's connected, and I can do my next all but one stitch down here and my chain. Okay, so the only little extra step we've got is taking our hook out, going through, pulling the loop through before we carry on. All right, next all but one, make my stitch, make my chain. Okay, and we've got one more attachment because we've got one more space before that corner. Pull that through. Right, so we're now, where are we now? 3 times, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We're now at our corner, okay? And no chain or anything at this point. We're going to go into, just as we would if we were just working like this, into our corner on our unworked hexagon and make a double crochet. Make one chain. Come, take our hook out, go into that corner. Can you see? Go into that corner space, front to back. Pull the loop through. One chain. And now if I turn, you can see we're now on the home stretch. So I'm going back just to finish my corner off, going back into the same space, that corner space, to create that corner. And now, as you can see, I can gallop along. I don't know why I'm saying gallop. I'm thinking of Miranda Hart. Next all but one stitch, one chain, next all but one stitch, one chain, next all but one stitch, one chain, and so on. Now let me just stop, and you will see that has joined really neatly. Look how pretty that is. Got this sort of I don't know, almost like a rope-like braided effect going on up there, and that is really secure, a really secure join. So rewind and rewatch if you need to, but that's how you join one side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just finish this off just as we did this one, and then we'll look at two sides.